Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, May 22nd, 2019. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves today gave an inspiring speech to young leaders at this year's Global Pathfinder Summit in the United States. PM Gonsalves delivered the keynote address under the theme Perspective on Representative Democracy, referencing SVG and its struggles and that of his personal life. PM Gonsalves told the gathering that SVG has come a long way with its development, pointing to its energy sector and education. The Prime Minister shared how SVG, as a small island state, has been able to position itself on the international stage.
Nothing is too difficult for you to achieve. Currently, St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the president of ECOSOC, the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations, one of the major institutions. We're the smallest country ever. We're the third Caribbean country since 1945 to head ECOSOC. Jamaica did it and Haiti, nobody else. And we are on target now to be the smallest country ever to be a non-permanent member of the Security Council. We started this quest 12 years ago. I didn't know I was going to be in office at this time, but we built it and we did our work. And now it is more than likely, indeed it would be a surprise if we didn't get 2/3 of the General Assembly on June the 7th to sit as a non-permanent member of the Security Council. And we have done it without spending 1 cent in relation to anybody who is supporting us.
PM Gonsalves also highlighted some key areas based on his experiences, which he said are required by leaders if they are to succeed in this era of globalization.
And a leader must inspire. A leader must put in. But far more important for a leader to do is to draw out. To draw out of the people whom he or she is leading. To draw out of them their goodness, their qualities, their nobility, and to draw out of them their qualities, their strengths, their possibilities, their goodness, their nobility, and draw out of them that which they do not as yet know that they possess. If you do that, you would have achieved a high mark, a high distinction.
At the end of his presentation, there was a question and answer segment where the young leaders were given the opportunity to ask the Prime Minister questions relating to his leadership role as a Prime Minister. As SVG celebrates World International Day for Biodiversity, a number of persons got the opportunity today to learn more about the country's unique forest ecosystem. This as representatives from several government ministries, including the Sustainable Development Unit and the Forestry Department, paid a visit to the forested areas of the Montreal watershed. The Montreal area is known for its rich animal plants and marine life, and members of the Forestry Department seized the opportunity to provide important information relating to biodiversity and the need to protect the forest ecosystem. Director of the Sustainable Development Unit in the Ministry of Finance, Janelle Miller-Finley, said today's exercise will greatly assist the unit in preparing policies geared at protecting the natural environment.
Those who set policy, sometimes you set it based on like reports and things like that, but it helps sometimes when you are actually in the field and you can connect with what you've read in a book or in a report with what you're seeing on the ground, because there are different circumstances that govern different things, and we have to change to suit. So when you are there and you know this is my reality, then you're better able to inform decisions and so on. And it was quite refreshing, as some of the participants said, to get away from the regular desk work and paperwork, and to be actually out in the forest where you can breathe fresh air, feel the cool breeze. We were not in an air-conditioned environment, but it was quite comfortable. Though you were sweating, you felt like your skin was breathing. So I'm hoping that a lot more Vincentians will take the time to appreciate these things, maybe spend more time in your backyard garden. Your backyard garden is an ecosystem by itself, and it's quite diverse if you just take the time, to pay attention to what you have around you.
Miller Finley said she is confident that those who attended the nature walk today now have a greater appreciation for the natural environment.
We partnered as well last year and this year with the forestry department. As you know, they are the ones who are the protectors of our watershed, making sure that it's healthy, rehabilitated and things like that. So it was wonderful partnering with them and partnering with the general public and other ministries as well. We had support from various ministries who attended the nature walk, and I believe that we all left a little bit more knowledgeable and appreciative of our ecosystem, the various types of ecosystem, the value of the organisms and living species within those ecosystems and things like that. So I think those who attended, and I think it was well attended, and I think they left today with an understanding that our natural environment is as important as to our built environment and livelihoods and comfort and everything, sustainability and everything.
Miller Finley also shared what she learned from her experience in the forest today and gave some advice to the general public.
Well, I learned about some different species of plants that are good for joint pain, fever, and things like that. And sometimes you look at these plants and say, oh, it's just bush. But someone said to me some time ago that everything that you need for healing is within your natural environment. So some of us were glad to learn about these remedies, because sometimes the pharmacy bought ones don't always work, but it's always good to go back to nature. So that's my takeaway from today. So God's willing, we will be planning the next one next year. We are not quite sure yet of the venue, but we hope that the public will be receptive to the invitation and join us again.
Communities in the East St. George constituency are expected to benefit from additional development work as promised by Area Representative Camelo Gonzalez. Gonzalez recently held a town hall meeting with his constituents where he outlined plans for the development of the constituency. In an interview with SVG-TV News, Minister Gonzalez projected a bright future for the East St. George constituency, particularly in the area of tourism.
We have a number of exciting projects coming up in the constituency, in the sporting, hospitality spaces, a number of major infrastructural works coming out in tourism and also in sort of roads construction. And we've done quite a bit to lure some major private sector players either into the constituency directly or into the areas immediately adjacent to the constituency. Hotels, both inside and immediately adjacent to the constituency. We have some collaborations with some major sporting entities to upgrade fields and the like. And the commitment that I made when I became the representative was to make that particular constituency the best place to live and work in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Gonzalez said East St. George is located in a prime area that is poised for leading the way in tourism and other developments here in SVG.
We're well situated between the capital and the new airport. A lot of the tourism product exists here. We're bringing in new investments, private sector investments in the fisheries space. And we think that in terms of building wealth in the constituency and using that constituency as an engine for growth and development nationally, we're well on the way to fulfilling the commitments that were made at the beginning of the electoral process. And it's looking good, and we're fairly happy of where we are. Of course, there's a lot still to be done, but there is a roadmap to get there.
The finance minister said he is pleased with the support he has gotten thus far from his constituents, noting that the recently held town hall meeting was not part of his political campaign, as it will be a different ball game when that time comes around.
We have over a year and a half to go, and traditionally the Prime Minister has predicted, traditionally the Prime Minister has utilized the full 5 years, the full 5-year mandate given by the people. So I'm not looking at anything now as a campaign season, but I do think that as representative, you go into your constituents to update them on how you've been progressing, tell them where they have to go. When we get to the campaign season, whenever that comes, of course, you sharpen your points and they become a little bit more partisan. But at this point, I think good policy and good politics, and all we have to do at this point is keep working hard, because that's what we're put here to do. And if you do that, if you keep working hard, if you show good results, the electoral stuff usually takes care of itself.
In other news, a robotic team's head mentor from the United States is an SVG to train information technology teachers in capacity building and computer-aided design. This is being done through a 3-day workshop which commenced yesterday at the St. Martin's Secondary School, spearheaded by STEM SVG. Brent Bollers, the overseas expert in IT, said after the training, teachers will be in a better position to teach advanced information technology using different methods and computer design software.
Move students through high school and on to college, that it's become something where it seems like things almost become obsolete. You know, the AutoCAD software, Onshape, which is one of the things we'll talk about, seem to kind of change and grow, and that's one of the challenges of a technologist is, you know, how do you keep on top of those things. But one of the things that I do believe, and I hope that you'll take away from these 3 days, is that creativity never goes out of style, right? And being able to teach our students how to be creative, how to think outside the box, how to develop new and interesting ideas and innovative ideas are the things that will drive them forward in the future and make them successful. So my goal more than anything is for you to understand that and to teach you methods for how to actually implement that in your classroom along with the computer design software.
For the last 6 years, STEM SVG has engaged hundreds of students in its program, which seeks to teach them various skills using technology. Director and founder of STEM SVG, Petrus Gums, reiterated STEM SVG's commitment in keeping abreast with advanced technology and sharing the information with teachers and students.
Staying true to the STEM SVG main purpose, which is to expose individuals to new learning experience, Dr. Haller's main mission for the next 3 days is not to teach you to use AutoCAD and such program proficiently. Trust me, it will take more than 3 days to do that. But is to work with us to see how best we can guide our students in the awesome world of design, to innovate, solution creation, using practically all their academic field of study and then some.
The Ministry of Education supports STEM SVG programs, and according to IT coordinator Anil Sutherland, though they are facing trying times in the area, they have been managing well with the limited resources available.
The Ministry of Education we are facing a new challenge in ICT. CXC has set a bar for us that we have to reach to. We understand that finances in government will always be an issue, but we're trying to reach that bar by integrating ICT into all schools and upgrading all labs.
STEM SVG's next major program is in August, where children from as young as 7 years can participate in its ITC summer program. The Fancy Government School has embarked on an awareness and educational program on non-communicable diseases in the community. Yesterday, the school held a health walk with emphasis on diabetes in memory of a former student who was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes. The health walk was held under the theme, Learning with Good Health. Several of the nurses in the area spoke to the children about the dangers of hypertension and diabetes and shared with them a few tips.
you can soak it for at least 10 or 15 minutes and you pour out the water. It actually tastes less salty. If you try it, you will see that it will taste less salty. Even the sausage in the tin, the long tin that we cut in slices, you can actually soak that in water as well to get out some of the salt.
Not plenty children love salt. We are not eat a lot of salt in it. Planting chip, mango. Your sister those are bad. Yes, mango. Planting chips from farm. Those are very, very bad habits to practice because too much of salt in your body is not good. Too much of sugar in your body is also not good.
This month has been designated as Child's Month, and yesterday's health walk forms part of the celebration activities by the Fancy Government School. Principal of the school, Colbert Bowen, said children can be the agents of change, hence keeping them informed is key.
Now, one of the reasons why we believe our children and young people are getting these diseases is because of our eating habits. How we eat and what we eat. We believe our children and young people are eating too much sugary and salty foods.
Welcome back. In Carnival Beat this evening, we heard that the online streaming of events without express permission is against the law and will not be tolerated by the Carnival Development Corporation, the CDC, for Vincy Mas 2019. This was stated by Chairman of the CDC, Ricardo Adams, at a news conference yesterday. Adams said there is only one entity which has the permission to do online streaming of CDC events for persons who are outside of SVG.
And so therefore we're saying that we have absolutely no problem with you buying your stream overseas, and in fact we can't stop you in New York City or Miami from having your parties over there because you can't come to Victoria Park on that night anyway. But we're saying be very careful if you choose to restream or if you choose to come to Victoria Park and stream without the express permission of the CDC, because we will be following it to the fullest extent of the law possible.
Meanwhile, the CDC Beauty Shows coordinator, Lafon Fraser, took the opportunity at yesterday's news conference to invite the general public to the Miss SVG pageant, which will be held on June 1st at Victoria Park.
Entertainment. The Miss SVG Entertainment Package is known to showcase the best of our local talent, as is fitting with the vibe of Miss SVG pageant. And this year we will not disappoint. In addition, the sensational Nadia Batson will perform a range of her many hits. Our ultimate VIP experience continues to receive fantastic reviews, and we've heard from those last year who said they're not missing Miss SVG 2019 and definitely want that VIP experience again. For tickets, look out for the Miss SVG ticket happy hours at locations in Kingstown. So you might be standing in line at a bank or at a credit union, and you are even flow, maybe, and you might hear early bird tickets at early bird prices as being sold for the Miss SVG pageant for 1 hour only. Look out for that.
It would be unfair for the National Lotteries not to have its own shows for Vincy Mas. That's according to marketing coordinator Anthony Denny, who said the NLA had been assisting sports and culture in SVG for many years now and is a major sponsor and partner to the Carnival Development Corporation and the Ministry of Sports and Culture. Denny said that there are other entities also sponsors of Vincy Mas and will be hosting events for the season, but no one seems to have a problem with these entities. He said the NLA will be hosting an event on June 4th, which the National Calypso Association seems to not be pleased with.
Here today, and I got a call from a particular newspaper yesterday, won't say who the paper is, asking for some clarification as to why is the National Lodges Authority competing with the Calypso Owners Association for Saturday, June 8th. Well, let me say up front that there's no competition, absolutely no competition, because the matter was discussed, I can say, at a CDC board level, and the final agreement was that the Queen of Calypso will be on the Friday, June 7th, and the Set for Life Fete being put on by the National Lodges Authority on Saturday, June 8th. That is the decision. I mean, I was surprised to hear that Lotto is, for one reason or the other, trying to squeeze Calypso out of the park. That is not our aim.
Activities for Rural Carnival 2019 have already started on the leeward side of the country. Coordinator of Rural Carnival, Ezzy Roberts, said he was very impressed with the way the leeward community started off their carnival activities with a fish festival that was very unique. Roberts said that last weekend's activities had a very large turnout and that he hopes it will continue for the remaining activities. He also noted that this weekend the St. George's will hold their carnival activities.
Coming up this weekend, we have St. George's. They will be hosting a night mass on Thursday, and they will be having their pageant on Friday at the St. George's Secondary School, and they will then be hosting the Jovian Street Jump Up on Saturday, and then Kiddies Carnival on Sunday. North Leeward will also be hosting some events this weekend. They have a back-in-time party at Nancy's Hideout on Friday night, and on Saturday they will be hosting a Kiddies Fair at the Pitibedell Hard Court. They will also be having a motorcade to showcase their contestants to the Miss North Leeward 2019 pageant, and this will be done on Sunday through the streets of North Leeward.